Hello dear learner, welcome back to our lessons. Your teacher Mr. Wilfred. This is our SLS channel, Smart Learners Studio -Kiongozi, and we are moving on with the chapter classification 1, which is in Form 1, whose knowledge you can apply both in junior secondary school integrated science and senior secondary school biology. So as you prepare for the examinations, both national and internal exams, please make sure you visit our channel SLS Smart Learner Studio, and I promised you that we shall have everything that pertains your preparations for the exams. So in this lesson I want us to discuss something about taxonomy, and of course you can see another word here called taxon. We will start by looking at a very common question that is always set in the exam, and that is differentiate between taxonomy and a taxon. From the previous lessons, we have discussed about taxonomy. Taxonomy is generally the science of classification. The whole process of classifying organisms, starting from collection of the organisms from the fields all the way to taking them to the lab, sorting them out, that whole process is called taxonomy. So you can simply define taxonomy as the science of classification, or the scientific study, the study of classification. Remember, we said sorting out organisms is not an easy job. However, it is a very interesting job. It is also a process. And I have given you that breakdown that you must go to the field, collect the organisms, take them, and when you are collecting the organisms, you use the correct apparatus, take these organisms to the lab, sort them out, and the whole process is what we call taxonomy. What about taxon? Taxon is a unit. A taxon, singular. A taxon is a unit of classification. When you classify organisms, there are units we use in classifying organisms. When it is in plural, we say taxa. So when it is taxa, these are units of classification. Units of classification. We will give the examples of these units, and basically up to some level that you are required to remember in the exam. Remember, now we are dealing with taxonomic units. Taxonomic units, or the units of classification. They are 7 in number according to your level, and we are going to come up with a small formula that will enable you remember these 7 units of classification. We will say King David stroke Pharaoh. King David stroke Pharaoh can only fight German soldiers. King stands for kingdom. King stands for kingdom. David stands for division. And Pharaoh stands for phylum. I will give you the difference. Ken stands for class. Then as we move down, only stands for order. Fight stands for family. Germany stands for genus. And lastly, soldiers stands for species. So my learner, For easy remembrance of these taxonomic units, please make sure you apply the formula. King David / Pharaoh can only fight German soldiers. Kingdom, division / phylum, class, order, family, genus, and species. At this point, remember we have two, division and phylum. Division is for plants. The second taxonomic unit of plants is division. So division is for plants. Immediately after kingdom, we go to division when you are classifying plants. And then phylum is for animals. So when you are classifying organisms, that is animals, the second strata or the second class, the second unit or taxon is phylum. So division is for plants, animals we say phylum. After that, you can see the order in which I have listed these units. It is in the order of seniority, from the largest to the smallest. Kingdom is the largest. Of course, that is where you have so many organisms. And as you go down, species is the smallest. So I am interested in defining species, but it is good I start by saying that kingdom, this is the largest taxon. This is the largest taxon. This is the largest taxon. That is the largest taxon that has the highest number of organisms with the highest number of organisms. Now the number of organisms go reducing from kingdom down all the way to species. So my learner, let us define species. And before we do that, I have remembered that it is good I also hint to you the 5 kingdoms that we have. Again, starting from the smallest to the largest. The smallest is Monera. Monera, that is made up of bacteria. All the bacteria fall in Monera kingdom. Number 2 is Protoctista. Protoctista. Mind the spellings. We can also say protista. This is the second one, and we shall give examples. Of course, these ones are protozoans. We shall give examples of these organisms in a later video. But we have organisms like the Plasmodium, we have organisms like the Chlamydomonas, Spirogyra, Euglena, and there's the Spirogyra and several others in a later video. Number 3 kingdom, we have fungi. Some people like saying fungi, but that depends on where you come from. Fungi, we have things like mushrooms, we have things like the puffballs, the toadstools, we have things like the the bread molds that we commonly call the rhizopas. We shall also give examples in another video. Number 4 kingdom is plantae. Plantae is kingdom number 4 and is made up of all plants, whether they are green or non-green, small or big, all plants fall in kingdom Plantae. And finally, of course, the largest kingdom is Animalia. So this is the kingdom that is made up of all animals. My last activity in this video, my learner, I want us to define the term species. Species. So as we said, species is the smallest. This is the last. The smallest unit of classification. Smallest unit of classification, comma, whose members have most characteristics similar and can interbreed naturally stroke come freely to produce viable or fertile come viable offsprings. This is a wonderful definition, a bit long from what you know. Most people like saying this is the smallest unit of classification and they stop there. So in case you're asked to define species and you're given 2 marks, please lengthen your definition and you will say this is the smallest, this is key, smallest unit of classification whose members have most characteristics similar. When you look at these organisms of the same species, they look like they are similar in everything. And also they can interbreed naturally or freely to produce fertile or viable offsprings. That is the definition of the term species. Remember, you may also be asked to state, this is a very common question, state the characteristics of, and actually characteristics stroke features, stroke features. State the characteristics stroke features of members. State the characteristics stroke features of members of the same species. So this question will take you back to the definition, and the definition gives us those features. First of all, if we can get them from the definition, we will say number 1, members of the same species have they look more similar. They have most characteristics similar. So you can say they look more similar, and it becomes very hard to differentiate between the two or more. Then number 2, they can interbreed. They interbreed freely to produce fertile stroke viable offsprings. So that is the way you respond to that question. Members of the same species have most characteristics similar, and number 2, they can interbreed freely to produce viable offspring. Up to that end, I wish you all the best. Thank you very much for watching my video. Keep following us, Smart Learner Studio, and we shall keep posting you on everything that you require in your examinations as you prepare for national and internal exams. Bye.